material gets reused. We'll be demonstrating these and other properties today. By this I mean a whole series of cyclical hydrocarbons, which includes extremely dangerous compounds. We just carried out a series of investigations based at the Military Medical Academy, and here we are joined by several representatives who will give presentations and show us the latest interesting properties of this substance. You can speed it up. The process is now underway. Come on. Come on, come on, don't be shy. Everything's going smoothly. This process will give us a working substance. Those who witnessed this event, which demonstrated how the major problems of the 20th century can be solved, did so without uttering a word. In order to be as convincing as possible, 3 experiments were carried out, and they all confirmed the unique properties of the powder. Here's our toluene. You can see the surface. There's about a centimeter here. Recently manufactured powder. We'll press it out cleanly, and you'll be able to see the toluene bonding. There were probably about 50 grams. According to our measurements, 100 grams of toluene are bonded. And here we get 2 grams of the substance. There. It's completely bonded. The toluene can be put right back away.
Толуол можно тут же удалить обратно.
Ну тут все выбрано.
Так, и совершенно чистая вода. Слоя нету. Чуть грязный стакан, так ее можно пить спокойно.
Perfectly clean water. No layer. If the glass wasn't dirty, you could drink it calmly. And now we'll hold it.
Вот видите слой опять вот образовался вот.
This is pure toluene. As you can see, the layer has formed again. There it is. You can see it there again. Judging by the fact that it pours, the only thing that can pour is the toluene, seeing as how the substance is hydrophobic. We can see that the water can't be poured there. It can't be there in principle. So there are no connections to the water. It floats on the surface and doesn't become wet. Here's yesterday's formalin. This is what happened to it. It's easy to demonstrate the following way. This way will probably be most correct and immediately visible. You see all of it remains there. It bonds immediately.
Наверное, так это будет правильно, наглядно. Вот он весь остается там.
Не течет.
Он сразу связывается. Это фенолы. Это то, по поводу чего никто еще не решил вопрос.
Those are the phenols, and no one yet has been able to figure out how to bond them. A third of the volume. And here we have 0.3 grams of the substance. Now we'll demonstrate via qualitative characteristics what that will look like in a pool.
Здесь 0,3 грамма вещества. Мы сейчас покажем по количественным характеристикам, как это выглядит в бассейне.
Проблема очистки и обеззараживания воды имеет очень большое значение. Наиболее дешевым и распространенным способом
The problem with the purification and decontamination of water is one of great importance. The cheapest and most common means of decontamination of water is chlorination. But the trouble lies in the fact that petrochemicals already present in the water will become more toxic after chlorination. They will become chlorinated hydrocarbons. Things like carbon chloride, dioxins, chloroform, and more. These substances have pronouncedly oncogenic, mutagenic effects and are poisonous to the immune system. An oncoepidemiological analysis done on the water intake of the Ladovsky Lake demonstrated that there is a definite relation between the presence of chlorinated hydrocarbons in drinking water and oncological illnesses. Initially, the concentration of chlorinated hydrocarbon in the water of the Ladovsky Lake is between 0 and 20 micrograms per liter. After chlorination, the presence of these substances can be up to 500 micrograms per liter. That is almost 20 times as much. The ideal means of decontaminating the water would be to prevent the intrusion of petrochemicals prior to chlorination. But if we take the economic situation into account, it's unlikely that we'll turn down this cheap means of decontaminating water. And therefore I feel that the wonderful powder that was created by Viktor Ivanovich Petrik will soon be a necessary element at water intake stations all over the world. I think this will happen in the near future.
Поэтому мне кажется, что тот чудесный порошок, который создал Виктор Иванович Петрик, он скоро будет необходимым элементом во всех водозаборных станциях во всем мире. Я думаю, это дело ближайшего будущего.
Вспомним экологические катастрофы, связанные с авариями гигантских танкеров.
Let's think back to the ecological catastrophes connected to the wrecks of enormous tankers, catastrophes that are becoming almost unavoidable for many countries on the planet. The aftermath of these catastrophes remains an unsolved problem, one that becomes worse with each year. There are so many dead zones with moribund birds lining the coast, their plumage covered in oily filth, an oily membrane spread over hundreds of kilometers of sea, bringing death to anything living.
Километров моря, затянутого нефтяной пленкой, несущей смерть всему живому.
But maybe humanity won't be quite so doomed if experts can give us their knowledge.
Дается знание.
There is a kilogram in this pouch. This means... It's fluffy like this in its first use, but after its first use it becomes very comfortable to work with. We'll see that now. You can spray it from airplanes, from any nozzle designed to cover large distances, like in the sea for instance. See? There where I poured some out.
You
can see right away how it begins to react. Now we'll see pure water.
Дайте мне порошка, подсыпка мне сюда его, а? Макет вот этого, значит, оставит.
You apply this generator and it releases 1 ton per hour. 2 generators will give you 2 tons per hour, and the ton will gather 50 tons of petroleum.
Нет, после первой переработки, вот после этой первой, после первой переработки, подождите.
After the first round of processing, it can be easily transported in the hold of a ship. It becomes very small. It becomes compressed and minuscule.
Вот нефть выделяется. Он становится как раз наоборот, очень транспортабельным этот порошок для того, чтобы его возить в трюмах и... А он малюсенький становится. Он сжатый становится чрезвычайно маленький.
Now the petroleum returns to its initial state. Take a look. See?
Состояние. Вот он. Вот смотрите. Вот смотрите, видите? Вот смотрите, прямо на глазах, видите?
Look, right before your eyes.
Его необходимо
You can spray it from any tube.
распылять.
now we have pure water once more. And again. I'll show you the same thing one more time.
И повторно. И повторно возьмите у меня кто-нибудь, я просто еще раз покажу то же самое. Тряпочку подержите. Держите. Так, в том-то и дело, что он гидрофобен, он не соединяется с водой.
Hold the rag. That's the point. It's hydrophobic. It doesn't bond to the
Он
water.
должен быть сухим, видите?
Look, this is what it should be like. It should be dry. See? In its dry form, it can be carried by any vessel. A dry cargo ship can bring it to the coast, to a station there, where it can be poured out onto a conveyor for them to squeeze out the petroleum, and then it can be sent straight back to the ship's hold. Just imagine, 1 ton for 50 tons.
Вы представьте себе, вы говорите насыпной вес, по-моему, мне так послышалось, да? Тонна на 50 тонн.
I don't think it will fit inside in this initial state. No. You need to have previously processed it with petroleum, for one. Second, the vessel must have a generator that can eject the prepared powder into the sea, whereas that generator there, you get an expansion of 1 to 50 from the initial substance. Crude, you mean? What's the weight of that crude? I repeat, 1 cubic centimeter transforms into 500 cubic centimeters as a result of the generation. That's what causes that weight. That's the point. The point is that this can be delivered to a dry cargo carrier for transport. The process itself is, of course, very interesting and very simple.
Очень интересно, я могу сказать. Очень просто и очень интересен. Аналогу такого.
We have never seen anything like this before. That is, a direct connection to the petrochemical molecules and this interaction with water. This is very interesting. I don't think there has been anything like this before. We'll have to arrange a meeting to discuss it, and I think that it will be necessary to utilize this substance.
Виктор Иванович сегодня представил нам действительно
Today,
открытие.
Viktor Ivanovich presented us with a truly great discovery of our age. This problem is one that has been fought with since Mendeleev, almost 100 years, and not one country in the world has been able to solve it. That's why I, the president of the Petrov Academy, am proud that 4 years ago we named Viktor Ivanovich our academician for his great contribution to our nation's technological advancement.
Своим академик,
May God grant Viktor Ivanovich health so that this may not be his last discovery.
развитие Отечества. Дай Бог, Виктор Иванович, вам здоровья, и чтобы это было не последнее ваше открытие.
От имени профессоров университета я горячо
On
поздравляю.
behalf of the professors of the university, I warmly congratulate this great chemist of our age, Viktor Ivanovich Petrik, on his outstanding discovery. Viktor Ivanovich graduated from our university, and the university will always be proud of this fact. The discovery that we observe today will belong to all of mankind for ages to come.
Открытие, которое мы сегодня наблюдали, принадлежит всему человечеству на многие века.
Виктор Иванович является членом и нашей академии.
Viktor Ivanovich is a member of our academy as well.
В Москве
A report on his discoveries was given at a general meeting of this respected international organization in Moscow not long ago. The fact of the matter is that this is not Viktor Ivanovich's only discovery.
доклад о его
Even if that were the case, he would still deserve the honor of being considered a great scientist.
Иванович это
But Viktor Ivanovich has made other discoveries as well, and we are all proud of them.
если бы даже
We wish him
оно было
success.
единственным,
I, on behalf of my colleagues, pass on their congratulations.
заслуживал
By the way, we named Viktor Ivanovich Vice President of the International Slavic Academy at our general meeting not long ago.
Ивановича есть
I'll bring him the documents and hand them to him with pleasure.
которыми я привез ему документ и с удовольствием его вручаю.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We wish you every success.
Желаем вам успеха.
Ну вот представляете плотность. Представляете плотность.
Picture the density. With 7 kilograms, we can remove 350 kilograms of petroleum. That's with a single bucket of the initial substance.
То есть одним ведром исходного вещества 350, значит, соответственно, 3 ведра это как бы очень маленькое.
Respectively, with 3 buckets, and that's a very small volume, we can remove a ton of petroleum. First, that's a ton of petroleum that returns to its initial state. Second, the substance can go back to work. And the most important thing, from my point of view, is that we can use dry cargo ships.
Ну, я в этом
На
плохо.
корабль можно тонну этого вещества исходного взять, значит, так, и постоянно одним тоннами работать. То есть получать, значит, то есть, да.
Рассматривается альтернативный
An alternative British patent is being considered.
посвященное этому вопросу. Посмотрите, какое это устройство.
Here's an
Вот,
entire
с этой стороны
hold.
забирает воду,
On this side it
вот
takes
она
in
вся
water,
проходит, с этой стороны
there it
она
goes,
выходит.
and on this side it comes out.
Вот это как раз та
This
ситуация,
precisely describes the
та
situation
ситуация,
in which we collect the petroleum
где
one to
один к
one,
одному
and in which it's
мы
irretrievable.
собираем нефть,
This is a
где
specially
она
equipped hold.
невозвратная. Это, мне так кажется, вот если представить это как специально оборудованное судно. Я вижу ситуацию очень простой. Я вижу некий транспортер, я вижу генератор на судне, который
I see the situation very simply. I see some sort of conveyor, some sort of generator which sprays from the hold. The conveyor that holds it all together. It's a constantly moving bandwidth scoops. There are rollers in the middle that compress the substance. Maybe it's like a trawl. This is an engineer's solution.
Может быть какой-то типа трала ограждения уже не переходит вот так и подтянуло все.
инженерное решение.
Это уже
Это инженерное решение мы предлагаем.
Нас интересует пока процесс и само вещество, значит, остальные вопросы.
Это решаем.
Да, решаем вопросы, значит, да, сама технология, значит, выпали на поверхность все проблемы, которые существуют у нас с экологической.
Today, contamination from petrochemicals is one of our pressing problems, and Emercom is actively trying to solve them in order to work out a system for dealing with petrochemical contamination. That's why we are very interested in new methods and will support them on a competitive basis and put them into practice. From what I understand, here we have not only the problem of removing contamination, but of utilizing these petrochemicals. Naturally, there are economic advantages. In this case, in particular, we are looking at how effective it is. Multiple use has large advantages. Of course, some things have to be perfected, but the substance itself is the most important thing. It has been created. What is left is for us to work out these issues. That's why we will definitely report this to our superiors, and I think they'll have a great interest in it.
Многократно использовать, значит, эту продукцию, значит, тоже проблеме. Естественно, большие плюсы могут быть. Но эту технологию, значит, инженерную технологию надо дорабатывать, конечно, естественно, как все это использовать. Но главное, само вещество создано.
Thank you very much for having come from so far away from this experiment.
Маленький макет, который я продемонстрировал, и то, который может собирать.
I demonstrated a small model and how it can be used to gather tons. It is necessary to install large generators. It will be fueled by diesel in the hold, and it will require about 100 amperes for the high power generator to operate. And you can produce tons of the substance in an hour.
Который может производить тонну вещества в час.
Viktor Ivanovich has once again demonstrated the unique capabilities of St. Petersburg in this regard. Now we'll think about it. Practical matters will be dealt with further down the line. I'm not ready to respond at this time. I'm the first deputy chairman of the Council on National Security for the chairman of the State Duma. How long have you known Viktor Ivanovich, and how well are you acquainted with his advances? I have known of Viktor Ivanovich for a long time, about a year, and have been familiar with his work for a good while. Now I know him as a doctor of technical sciences and as a specialist firsthand. Right now we're working on getting the Council on National Security to carry out or facilitate the development of a governmental program on fullerenes. Because at the foundation of all of these developments lies the fact that Viktor Ivanovich learned how to extract fullerene through industrial means, and it's on this foundation that everything else rests. And this has a wide application. Rubber becomes more hardened, and its durability increases when this powder is added. That's why we are trying to create an entire fullerene branch, and in it all the relevant applications as well. There are a lot of applications of all kinds. I hope that everything will be fine, and that's what I'm working on. Already in 2 weeks, we'll be analyzing this problem in its entirety at our council. Not the purification of petroleum by itself, but the problem as a whole. That's because we work at the level of national security, and certain specific things interest us only in parts. But in general, if our country will be the first to establish commercial production of fullerenes, then everything else will follow. Our industry will become competitive. Incidentally, when this powder is utilized in the battery industry, it increases the accumulator's capacity 100-fold with the exact same dimensions, and that means direct output to electric vehicles. Not that we have a hope of someday catching up to other countries in terms of quality of automobiles. We've already given up on that, at least within the boundaries of traditional automobile technology. But if we can create electric vehicles, then that would be a breakthrough into a new sphere.
Мы просто уже махнули на это дело рукой. Я думаю, что этого никогда не произойдет в рамках традиционной автомобильной техники. Но если мы выйдем на электромобили, такие, которые равноценны нормальному автомобилю, ну вот это будет наш прорыв в новую сферу.
Конечно, то, что нам показали, это уникально, на мой взгляд. Ничего
In my opinion, what we have been shown is unique. I've never seen anything like it. In my view, this is very effective, as one can pick out the main components. To think that petroleum gathered from the sea can be used later, this has never been the case, this is a first. Second, that powder that they showed us can be used several times. This is definitely unique. I feel it's necessary for us to think about how to do this on ships from a technological standpoint, so that we can have a very effective means of gathering petroleum from the sea and from other pools of water. Of course, any accident is sometimes connected to storms, and this could lead to complications with the gathering process, but we'll think about it. You'll strive to make this technology, this invention, a reality as soon as possible. We already discussed the matter of its practical use with the representatives of the Moscow Emercom who are present. This is our task, and it is one that will be addressed directly. Every time I come to see him, he always dishes up some new discovery. This really impresses me. He is not a man, he is a superman. I graduated from university and today I have my own company. I work closely with Viktor Ivanovich. Today we're on very good terms. He trusted me to deliver all of this in Germany, and everyone there is waiting. And there's a market. As soon as this gem is ready, everyone's waiting. This is my brother. He's an engineer. And of course, this invention is breathtaking and will make an effort. But more than that, we'll be telling everyone in Germany about it, through the press and through every available means, to make this public and to make every German, average German, and there are many in Germany who look after their health, understand what he's drinking and that he could be drinking completely different water. We took photographs, we have proof. Because if we just say it, not all of them will believe it. So we can contact some companies, some very large and famous companies, which will very likely be interested. We're sure of this. As a nuclear physicist by profession, what is your exact impression? What we saw is a technological achievement of the highest level, and we can ask Viktor Ivanovich. We can set up a factory here or in Germany. First, we need to show this to everyone. Maybe we can take this film with us and show it to people so that they can see what can be done. It's unbelievable.
И надо сперва показать, надо этот фильм, может быть, фильм можно с собой взять, там показать, чтобы люди видели, что можно делать. Это невероятно такое. Открытие века.
I share your opinion, and I'm happy that this is happening in Russia. And Russia has always been able to share its discoveries with the whole world, so I hope that it really will be important on a global scale. What we saw today is essentially a practical application of the principle of perpetual motion. The substance used to clean the petroleum can be used ad infinitum. The effect is staggering, and all of the decisions he makes in his work are genius. And the level of their genius lies in their exceptional simplicity and in the exceptional talent of this man.
Они гениальны, и уровень гениальности в исключительной простоте решений и в исключительном таланте этого человека.
Это участок по производству монокристаллов сапфира.
Anatoly Alexeyevich, this is the site of the manufacture of single crystal sapphire. The apparatuses were made at the Lugansky company. This is actually our country's elaboration on the technology, different from everything that came before. The main method used in the world is Chikalsky's method. It's rather complex. Our single crystal sapphires are greatly superior to Chikalsky's in such aspects as power and dislocation.
Сегодня весь мир признает, что эти монокристаллы наши по таким характеристикам.
These apparatuses have been adapted to grow crystals up to 100 millimeters in diameter. The initial design had a very definite military character. That is, they weren't designed to create fairings. Here at this factory, we've completely mastered production, and what's more, the people who mastered it had no previous specialization in single crystal production.
То есть они и были предназначены для создания обтекателей. Здесь, на этом заводе, мы освоили полностью производство. Более того, люди освоили производство без, то есть не имевшие ранее конкретной специальности.
This here is a product, a grown single crystal. It has a small diameter. This one was grown specifically for jewelry purposes, 6 kilograms. Wow, that's heavy. I'll show you a work of art, on sapphire, cut, a diamond cut. The French reacted incredibly. They published in all their magazines that something unbelievable is happening in Russia.
Ну, я покажу некоторые художественные произведения. Изделие на сапфире, значит, ограненный. бриллиантовая гранка.
Victor Ivanovich, are there any fundamental complications with large fairings given this equipment? It's impossible to make a larger size. The diameter of the surface is limited to 220 millimeters. That's as big as the diameter of the furnace can be. Special mirrors are placed inside which help to continuously regulate the heating process. In the range below 200, there's an enormous number of problems.
Это огромное количество проблем как раз и есть. Я покажу сейчас, как выглядит этот. Это уникальный совершенно сам по себе участок. Это участок, на котором была.
This is a completely unique site in itself. This is the site in which the world's first ceramic armor with a penetration between 0.2 and 6.5 microns was created.
До 6,5 мкм. Это уникальная задача, которую пытались решить несколько государств.
That was a unique challenge that several countries tried to solve. $500 million were allocated to solving this problem in the United States. In the USSR, around 80 institutes were involved since 1974, and I'd like to briefly tell the story of how it was solved.
И я хочу рассказать о том, как ее удалось решить. Кратенько, да? Значит, изначально все шли по
Initially, everyone followed the same path, and I spent an entire year working on this as well. That is, on the creation of ceramic from sulfates, aluminum and magnesium, so-called noble spinel. And after a year, I realized this was erroneous.
Я понял, что это ошибочно. И предложил вариант создания ее.
And so I suggested an alternative form of creating it from alcoholates, that is, solution in alcohol.
Керамика. Прошли все сертификации, получены паспорта, получен невероятный интерес.
Today we created ceramic. We passed all the examinations, received all the certifications, and there's now an unbelievably strong interest from a whole series of Western countries. They even visited. There are documents that attest to this. There were generals, important people. They tried to purchase the technology, offered lots of money.
Я покажу, как это выглядит. Вот на этой печке.
This installation here is meant for experimental work. I'll show you what it looks like. This is a prepared transparent ceramic.
Прозрачная керамика. Вот, собственно говоря, то, что требовалось достичь.
Basically, this is what so much effort was spent on trying to reach. And I'll show you the preparation, what that ceramic that everyone was trying to make looks like.
Она прозрачна только от 2 мкм. И то считалось, что это
It's transparent by only 2 microns, and that was considered a great achievement. These articles were made here on these installations, and this is a gap as a result of the experiment. This is how ceramic looks today.
Это разрыв в результате эксперимента на разрыв. Так выглядит керамика, которая сделана на сегодняшний день.
Разработанная технология по синтезу
This technology, developed to synthesize aluminum magnesium ceramic, is an enormous scientific achievement. The result of the academician Viktor Ivanovich Petrik can become the foundation of the creation of models for new economic relationships for the Russian Federation.
Moscow,
the Kremlin, the security service of the President of Russia, to Rogozin. From Yefremov, General Director of the Anti-Industrial Group. Our familiarization with the document submitted to us and the preliminary test sample give us the basis to consider that this particular optical ceramic holds unique characteristics and that its creation is a scientific achievement. Several years passed since the discovery of a new modification of carbon, a mysterious molecule with an amazing structure, named after the architect Fuller. It copies the exquisite proportions of his spherical buildings. When its properties were studied, scientists understood that they were dealing with the panacea they had been looking for. It could be used in such fields as physics, chemistry, energetics, biology, medicine, optics. Over 1,000 patents have been registered. However, it is a rare event today for institutions to send even milligrams of this material to each other for study. Viktor Petrik became the first person in the world to solve the problem of industrial manufacture of fullerene. An experiment is demonstrated. Fullerene has a characteristic coloring. This idea was first implemented when the metal was fed into a mold directly from the source. Here it is poured in a thin stream into the casting, which will then monocrystallize under the remaining aluminum, which is of the same temperature as the crystallization of nickel. That's the purpose of its creation. It's amazing, this machine. Amazing.
Кристаллизации никеля. Вот цель ее создания. Ну, Это, конечно, фантастика абсолютнейшая вот эта машина. Фантастика.
У нас сейчас будет специальное заседание Совета национальной безопасности.
Now there will be a special session of the National Security Council on this matter, and so we gradually progress from branch to branch.
Мы сейчас ставим задачу построить у себя в институте.
We are currently making it our goal to build in our institutes a mini factory of these exotic materials, which play a very important role in every stream of human activity today.
Материалов, которые играют очень большую роль сегодня во всех, вообще говоря, направлениях деятельности человека.